couple of days since the Coventry game, so it's an update on Reece Norrington-Davies?
Not really. He's having his scan today, so we'll know more when we've seen that, like I said. So we know he's injured. Everyone's saying pull up, and usually when you're sprinting like he was, full flight, and you feel it go all of a sudden, that you've done some damage there. But we'll just wait and see what the scan says.
Better news on injury front though, with John Fleck, a big boost to have him back on Wednesday night.
Yeah. So Flecky obviously got a few minutes under his belt, and every day trains and match minutes he gets, he's getting closer. Jack Robinson as well, obviously had another week's training, and great to have him on the bench, and we'll start getting minutes into him as well, hopefully, because he's missed a long period of time. He's from unavailable since before the first game of the season, and then Ozzy as well, game by game, getting a few more minutes.
Great to have John and Jack back, but obviously it's a different kettle of fish going from just being on the bench to starting games. So how close are they to sort of getting to 100% where you want them to be?
Well, they're not on 100%, but we can start it. No problem. But I'm just very conscious of the fact that we're low on numbers. So for me, we're going to be using all the players. We're going to be making sure we make changes from the bench. Two reasons. We obviously want to make changes to help win the game and keep the energy, because we played on Wednesday night. But also, just with the way things are going, I think we have to be mindful and at the minute do all we can to protect the players who are playing as well, and make sure that we're trying to limit any sort of risk with anyone else picking things up.
These two in particular, they played big roles for you last season. It's a massive step forward, isn't it, if you can get the likes of John and Jack up to 100%, especially with a lot of games coming up.
Yeah, because I think those two in particular, as people and players, I think when you've got them fit and firing, they know what we're about, they know what we want as a staff, and they know how to go and execute it. And so for me it's a big plus having them fit and available. And like I said, it's our job now, and game by game, day by day, we'll keep improving them and pushing, because at some point they're going to be called on. We know that.
And El coming back too, that was another plus for you as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, good. Like, he missed longer than we thought. He didn't miss longer than we thought, but obviously the games, because they're coming thick and fast, he's missing a lot of games. But yeah, so in just 3 weeks out or so, you can end up missing a lot of games. But again, his fitness levels are good. He's played a lot of football, so it's very easy to get him back up to speed.
It's a shame that we're having to talk about this kind of incident again, but Rhian Brewster is subject to some disgusting abuse online, which I know you want to talk about, Paul.
Yeah, as I say, listen, we've put a statement out as a club, and obviously, we're all disgusted. Listen, unfortunately, we can't get rid of it as of yet, and everyone's doing all they can. We've had discussions as a club, and some board members and representatives of us speaking to the powers that be at these social media companies and trying to identify the person that's done it and make it more difficult to happen. And we're not the only club, everyone's doing it. So there seems to be a real drive from people within the game to get rid of it, but we need help from people outside the game now. We do, because it's a breeding ground. If people are going to be able to get away with it, it's just wrong, totally wrong. And from our point of view, Rhian's one of our players, but one of our family, if you like. And from my point of view as his manager, it's not nice. That's when you feel different. It's not about football, and for me, he's one of our young lads. You feel, in my position, really responsible and protective of these people and players, and whether they're 35 or 20. So it's a strange feeling, not a nice feeling, horrible one. You want to do more than just sit here and talk about it, and it's just so disappointing. And listen, it's just a poor reflection on the type of people who's doing that.
Looking ahead then to Norwich, what type of challenge can we expect from them?
Yeah, tough one, a good one. I think anyone who's wanting to compete in this league, achieve, have to be seeing them as a team that you want to be finishing above if you want to do well. So that's what we think. I've seen quite a bit of them, and they're a good footballing side, create chances. And listen, they're in similar form to us in terms of results, but there's also been very similar games to ours. When I've seen their games, a couple of them that they've lost, they could have been outside and been well up in the first 20-30 minutes. So they pose problems which we know, as most teams do, just come down from the Premier League. They've got good firepower. So I think it's going to be a very good game, and one that we tend to relish and everyone tends to enjoy at Bramall Lane. The away team coming to challenge us being up for the challenge, the fans being up for the challenge, and really creating that atmosphere that we all enjoy.
Norwich have lost 3 on the spin, but before that they also won 6 on the bounce. If you can win 6 on the bounce in this league, you've got to be a good side, haven't you?
It's a crazy league. You look at when Blackburn were at the top and they've lost more games than Coventry, who were down near the bottom, albeit Coventry had a lot of games in hand, 4th position. But yeah, we know it's listen, every season this league throws up those things, and you strive for consistency, and I think I've been saying it all along. And the ones who get the most consistency will be right up there. We've tended to have it in terms of performance, but not been churning the results out that we need. But sometimes some things are out of your control, and we have to keep focusing on us. Less mistakes, more ruthless at the top end, and then, like I said, the results come. And anyone who's continually or consistently picking up points, your 3s and your 1s, will be up there.
We do talk every year, don't we, about the Championship. Everyone can beat anyone, but this particular season, 15 games in, just seems to be one of the strangest. Yeah, what's it been like for you watching a lot of the games and a lot of unpredictable results?
Yeah, listen, I think I said in the week, as I've watched a lot more games and every team now, and the way it's been refereed, there's a lot more going, more so than a long time. Listen, there's certain. It's strange as well, because it's changed as there's ones like Macca's tackle in front of the dugout the other night, which I thought was fantastic, is a yellow because they're saying it's dangerous. It's a fantastic tackle. He's won the ball. So those things are clamped down on, but then there's a lot more pulling and fouls and niggles, and which tend to be not given. So yeah, I think everyone's getting used to that and which way around it's going to go, and it seems to be levelling things up, you know. So yeah, it's certainly making for interesting viewing, anyone who's a fan of the Championship.
We talk about the role of the fans quite often. Again, expecting a good crowd at Bramall Lane tomorrow. How important is it that we create a cauldron of noise?
Yeah, we've got to do it. It's one of the, like I say, it's one of the games that we look forward to, all our home games. But you know, we've got a good side coming to challenge us, take us on, and we want the fans to be the same, understanding how much of a role they play. When we it's the chicken and egg, isn't it? We want to play. So my responsibility and the players is to try and inject an energy and play a way that gets the fans going. But likewise, if I speak to the fans, I'd be saying, come on, you do your bit, let's get the players going, because it's feed off each other. And then when we do get it going, we've seen what we can do, we've seen what sort of atmosphere we can create. And generally those are the nights, the afternoons where we get the performances that we're after.